recording.
Thank you, Ms. Dunning. Good afternoon and welcome to the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners business meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. It is 1:32 in the afternoon. Would you all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in that important tradition that we open every meeting with. I'd like to ask the County Attorney, Mr. Ingalls, if we have certification for everything on today's agenda.
We do, Madam Chair. My office has reviewed all items on today's agenda, and they all meet legal approval.
Thank you, Mr. Ingalls. Do any commissioners have any items of disclosure for things on today's agenda?
I have none, Madam Chair. Thank you.
No, ma'am.
And I have none either. We have some employee recognition today. Rod Meredith and John Lamb, would you like to come forward? And Randy Kacheski. Did I say that right, Rod?
You did a good job. It's a tough one. Well, good afternoon, Commissioners. Pleasure to be here, and especially to give honor to Randy Kacheski. This is his 15th year at Douglas County, and he is an equipment operator too, which virtually means that he can operate any equipment we have in the department. So that's a good accomplishment. And he works for Special Projects, which is involved with all kinds of drainage repairs, concrete repairs, grading projects and all over the county. And he's worked for Special Project his whole career at Douglas County. Let's see, his current role is primarily doing culvert inspections, culvert repairs, and drainage system maintenance. So he actually is the person that set up our camera van. We recently acquired a camera van in the last couple of years, and he actually set it up from scratch and knows how to operate it. So, you know, it has a little robot that goes down through the pipes and videos the insides of pipes. And he actually inspects about a fifth of our county culverts every year. So we try to get through all of them in a 5-year cycle. And so he knows more about the insides of our culverts than anybody else in the county at this point. He's actually on his second round, so he's already been through them all once, and now he's going back around on the second 5-year cycle. That doesn't really include all the storm sewer in the urban area, but definitely all the rural culverts in the county. When he inspects, he looks for rusted, collapsed, plugged, or failed culverts, and then he writes a service request for the district to go out and repair that particular culvert. He also helps inspect the new culverts when a new subdivision goes in, so he also knows in Sterling Ranch all the new pipes up there already, because before they approve the warranty on that street or road, he goes and looks in all the pipes, and it's amazing what he's found. Pipes that are plugged, brand new, or pipes that have come apart. And so he gives that to engineering, and then they send the contractor back out and get it fixed before they sign off on the warranty for that road. So he does do that. Does most of this alone. He's got a nice van, and of course it's got computers inside, and along with all the camera equipment, and a reel that, you know, you can reel out several feet to look inside a culvert. So it's pretty complicated piece of equipment, and it's very, it takes a lot of skill and training to use that equipment. So really grateful for what he does. In his spare time, he plows snow. He applies mag chloride up in Highlands Ranch, in the west part of Highlands Ranch. Then he does some truck hauling when we're doing asphalt overlays in the summer. So he kind of gets into trucking quite a bit as well. He's probably going to be embarrassed that I'm saying this, but he has an extremely high IQ. Some would say a photographic memory, and I would be one of those. He's always the first to get done whenever we're doing certifications tests, and I'm not just meaning a few minutes. He's like done in half the time everybody else in the whole room is. So I've always been impressed with that. Because I'm taking the same test and he's already done it. I'm worried about it. So, but he's always available for snow removal, and will take on any new challenge, just like this truck, or van. And I really appreciate that about him. Has a good sense of humor and a very dedicated worker. And I really want to thank you, Randy, for all your service. So,
Thanks, Rod.
and one last thing to add, today is his birthday.
Oh.
So happy birthday.
Thanks.
John?
Thank you, Rod.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So Randy started, as Rod said, in special projects. His first area that he worked in was the concrete crew, and he learned that trade over a couple years' time. The opportunity came up for him to move to the drainage crew and expand on his equipment operation skills and a little bit more of his driving skills. And as Rod had talked quite a bit about, he's been working on the culvert inspections, and also Randy is extremely detail-oriented. You might have gotten that impression from Rod. So when we were, Special Projects was tasked with this, 8 or 10 years ago, Randy was in on the ground level, as with many of the other people in Special Projects, and Randy has stuck it out, and it's been just a good place for him. He's able to go in, do the inspections. Rod mentioned about getting the van set up. He's done that. One of his biggest customers is engineering department on video in the storm sewers. And Randy also had a chance to run a snow shift in my absence this last fall. I was called out of town, and he seemed to enjoy that quite a bit also. So of the many hats that we have to offer in Special Projects, I think Randy's wore just about all of them, and he's done a very good job with it. Thank you, Randy. It's been certainly a pleasure out of the last 15 years.
Thanks, John.
Sure. In recognition of that, we have a plaque for you to honor your 15 years of service.
Thanks.
Randy, we'd like to hear a few words from you.
It's gone by fast. Been a few things that took its toll, but all in all, I think it's been a great place to be. Oh, and I'm handsome too.
You're welcome to pull that down a little bit if you'd like to talk to us so we can understand you.
Oh, okay. I've enjoyed working for John and Rod. I really enjoy what I'm doing now. Most days it's a challenge to, this depends on what you're doing. Running in the camera in the storm sewers. I enjoy that. I know that everything I do makes a big difference. I'm trying to, save the county time, money, make sure everything is done right. Make sure the contractors, are doing their job, and, inspecting the rural culverts. When we first started out, I would say maybe 1/8 of the county was marked. So, we went out and, sometimes it was 5-10 miles an hour. You're driving on the side of the road, just trying to find them. The snow gets deep, the grass gets deep, but everything now is, well, I'd have to say maybe 98%.
You are detail oriented, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all marked. I've made maps and, put everything into the computer system, so it's all on servers. Everything's in PubWorks. So, it's Probably my favorite thing to do is plow snow,
Is what?
plowing snow.
Oh, plowing snow,
Yep.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Especially when it gets deep. That's fun.
Well, good. We need people like you, Randy. So thank you. Comments from the board?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, happy birthday, Randy. You and I got to have an exchange earlier this morning, but
Yeah.
again, happy birthday. And, you know, good and smart is a great combination. I love that you have a photographic memory. The Board of County Commissioners got to take a photo inside of a storm pipe at Sandstone Ranch recently. So I don't know if that's an image you want etched in your memory forever, but we had a lot of fun doing that. So, you know, 15 years is an incredibly long time, and your dedication to the county is exceptional. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So just a few moments ago, you said, I really like what I'm doing now. Sometimes it's a challenge. It all kind of depends on what you're doing. I feel the same way, man. And I haven't been here for 15 years. I just got here. Well, you know, congratulations. Thank you for stepping forward in your career to work for your neighbors, work with your neighbors. And I'm glad to be here enjoying what I'm doing, even though sometimes it's a challenge. But it really all kind of depends on what you're doing. And it's good to know that we've got employees like you that also enjoy it and are having fun.
Thank you.
Randy, I'd like to thank you. I heard you say a couple of things that I thought said who you are. When you said it needs to be done right, and you said, everything I do makes a difference. And I bet those two guys standing behind you there, Rod and John, understand that, having supervised employees for many, many years. People like you who are detail-oriented and know things are a challenge, but still come to work and have left a legacy. When you talk about your mapping and the things you have done, that's something that years from now, people that you work with will say, you know, Randy, that dude, he did all of this. So you've left a legacy that people will remember you by. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Good? Yeah. Okay.
The end. This is an example of the things that make Douglas County a really unique county, that we have staff who have been here for many years and care about doing things right. So that's why we spend time honoring them at our business meetings. So thank you again, Randy. This is the time where we ask if there are any citizens present who would like to address the board on anything that is not on the consent or regular agenda. Anything you'd like to talk to the commissioners about, this is your opportunity. Seeing no one come forward, I'm going to ask Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online?
I have no hands raised, Commissioner.
Thank you, Troy. Now I'm going to ask if there's anybody here who would like to talk to the commissioners about anything that is on the consent agenda. Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online for the consent agenda?
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have Jacob Clay that would like to say something. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much, Troy. On behalf of the
Excuse
students,
me.
staff, and
I'm sorry.
community,
Sir, if I could just ask you to give us your name, spell your last name, and give us your address. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
yes, of course, of course. Jacob Clay with Ascent Classical Academy.
And how do you spell?
CLA.
C-L-A-Y?
Correct.
Go ahead.
On behalf of the students, staff, and community of Ascent Classical Academy, I wanted to personally thank you and express our gratitude and appreciation to the Douglas County Commissioners for the support of our increased safety and security of our school.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. We appreciate that.
Mortifyingly.
Thank you.
Do you have anyone else, Ms. Dunning?
I have no other hands raised.
Thank you. With that, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to approve a motion, I'd like to make a motion to approve the requests in all items, A as in alpha through P as in papa, on the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. And now we're moving on to the regular agenda. This is item number A. This is a resolution honoring a local hero, Lone Tree teenager Gitanjali Rao, Marcia Alston for staff.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Marcia Alston with staff. I'm happy to be able to introduce, well, look at that, Time Magazine's first ever Kid of the Year. So, who resides in Lone Tree. And Lone Tree is part of Douglas County, and we are so excited to have her here, and her principal from STEM, where Gitanjali is also something we can, yes, all right, to have them with us today. I know there is a resolution. I'm not sure if we read that resolution. If
Commissioner Teal will be reading that.
Perfect. May I introduce you to Gitanjali?
Please do.
Please come up and say hello to your county commissioners.
All right, cool. I think I'm doing this right. But hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I kind of just wanted to take this time to introduce myself and say a huge thank you to each and every one of you here. A huge thank you to Douglas County, as well as obviously my school, STEM school, Highlands Ranch, for their continued support and just, helping me become a better problem solver and innovator every single day. It has, obviously been so fantastic to really go off of this platform set up for me by Time and Nickelodeon. And I will obviously continue to spread my knowledge of innovation as well as kindness and science to everyone that I meet. So just a huge thank you. And I will, continue to just make a difference in my society.
Thank you. Those are wonderful words. I'd like to ask Commissioner Teal to read our resolution about you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it pleases the board, I'd like to speak to a resolution honoring local Lone Tree teenager Gitanjali Rao. Whereas 15-year-old Gitanjali Rao of Lone Tree, Colorado, was awarded the first ever Kid of the Year by Time Magazine, whereas Gitanjali was selected from a field of more than 5,000 Americans ages 8 through 16. Whereas Gitanjali was selected for this honor for her astonishing work using technology to tackle issues ranging from contaminated drinking water to opioid addiction to cyberbullying by researching scientific tools such as artificial intelligence and carbon nanotube sensor technology and applying them to problems she sees in everyday life. And whereas Gitanjali is someone who always has wanted to put a smile on someone's face and that her everyday goal is to make someone happy. Her goal soon turned into how can we bring positivity and community to the place we live. And in the second or third grade, she started thinking about how can we use science and technology to create social change. And whereas Gitanjali developed an app on the prevention of cyberbullying via a service called Kindly, an app and a Chrome extension that is able to detect cyberbullying at an early stage based on artificial intelligence technology. And whereas Gitanjali is also on a mission to create a global community of young innovators to solve problems around the world and has created a series of workshops designed to show other kids how to tap into their curiosity, aspiring to create a generation of innovators. And whereas Gitanjali, in addition to her work with technology, is also involved with Douglas County 4-H, serving as a member of the Bighorn Sheep Club for several years. And whereas Gitanjali won first place in the Refining Leadership Skills Leadership Project category at the 2020 Douglas County Fair, and her win qualified her for the Colorado State Fair, where she earned Grand Champion in the Leadership Project, and also earned the Grand Champion title in 2018 and 2019, with this year marking her third straight win. And whereas the board recognizes the invaluable contributions to Douglas County by Mrs. Rao, now therefore be resolved that the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners hereby recognizes the outstanding accomplishments of Lone Tree resident Gitanjali Rao, and her accomplishments that resulted in her being awarded the first ever Time Magazine's Kid of the Year.
Thank you.
Let's give her a round of applause. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet.
Oh, sorry. All right, sorry.
Commissioner Layden, would you like to make some comments, and we'll do that afterwards?
I will. Thank you, Madam Chair. So good afternoon. I want to thank Marsha Alston, the director of our youth initiative here and the youth services supervisor for being here with us. I would also like to thank the principal of STEM for being here. I know we connected in the lobby. I was trying to figure out who you were, and I'm really excited that you're here. I also wanted to really thank your mom for coming by today. Appreciate her support, and we know how much she's poured into your life and supported you. You know, I think most importantly, I would just like to thank you for being here, Ms. Rao, and acknowledge you today. You know, I know you thought you were coming here to be honored by your county for your remarkable accomplishment in Time Magazine, but I want you to know that it is actually you that is bringing honor to us today. When I ran to be a Douglas County Commissioner, I had a very simple goal: do good things and make a difference, not for me, but for others. Today, as not only the commissioner from District 1, which includes Lone Tree, where you are from, but as a father of 3 children, I want you to know that you are the epitome and the purest example of what I hope to inspire in my citizens, my children, and myself, to be a beacon of light to this county and continually ask, as you do, quote, how can we bring positivity and community to the place where we live? From your work against bullying, the inspiring innovation, to recognizing the deep wrong that citizens in Michigan would have to drink poisoned water contaminated with lead, you have shown exceptional leadership, brilliance, optimism, creativity, and innovation where even adults in the room sometimes did not. And your journey to help others, in your journey to help others, you did a very rare thing. You sent the elevator back down to other young people, giving them the roadmap to join you on this challenge of innovation and help solve the world's toughest problems. It is the gift of our Creator that we may employ our intellect to the benefit of our greatest challenges and succeed. And as Voltaire once said, no problem can withstand the assault of sustained thinking. As Colorado continues to lead the nation in youth suicide, my hope is that in the midst of hopelessness and despair, every young person and adult remembers the example that you have set, Ms. Rao, and their remarkable God-given gift to employ at their will for the benefit of themselves and those around them, even in the darkest moments. As I shared with my children, I got to tell them about you today. You don't need a title or a piece of paper or even a driver's license to lead and start making a difference. Thank you for being that real-world example that my children and all children in this county can aspire to. So today I have just one question for you, Ms. Rao. Would you please stay in touch and help us do good things for our county citizens?
Of course. Yeah, that's a promise that I'll never lose. So thank you.
Great. My ears are wide open. So it's for these reasons it is our honor to recognize you with this special county resolution recognizing your achievement as Time's first ever Kid of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Teal.
Well, I mean, I think I met you outside and I said, hey, I saw you on the Today Show. Listen, I think you've made all of us very, very proud. Yeah, hearing good old Hoda and the other one, Savannah, say that you're from Lone Tree, Colorado, that made my heart smile at that time. You've made us all proud. You've put us on the map with your achievements. Please remember us as you go forward and do other great things. You make us proud.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I would just like to add that I watched the video of you talking about the water and how you created an instrument that was named after a Greek god of something. And so my brain has forgotten it. I'm not as good as you. But what really impressed me was how down to earth you are. You didn't use big words and you're above everybody. You're just you. And you came across as someone who cared so deeply. But I have a question for you. I want you to tell us about your family because you got here with your family's help, I bet. So tell us about your family.
Yeah, so My parents have always been my number one supporters, my number one anchors of my entire journey since, well, the day I was born, quite literally. I think beyond the work that I do, they allowed me to try things and they allowed me to figure out what I wanted to do, which is the reason why I'm standing in front of all of you here today, is because I was allowed to find my own passion for science and technology, and I was allowed to discover my own passion for making a difference in society. And it's been the same way for years and years. Whatever I wanted to do, whatever I wanted to set a goal for it, they would do whatever they could to fuel my passion. And it's the same for my little brother as well. And I owe all of my work to them and just their continued support in my journey.
Well, that is an amazing testimony to your family. I hope they get to hear this. We would like to come down and honor you with another gift, actually two things. One is the signed resolution that Commissioner Teal read today. So we have a signed and a test version for you, the original for you to take home. And we also have some flowers for you. So we'd like to come down and take a few more photos. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sorry, your turn. Shoot over my head.
So, Madam Chair, if you are prepared for a motion, I will make a motion to approve a resolution honoring local Lone Tree teenager Gitanjali Rao.
I will be happy to second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you. And the next item on today's agenda, Cheryl Matthews is going to come up, and you're going to tell us about both B and C. This is a monumental day for the conservation easement on both Schmidt property and Sandstone Ranch. And we are very happy to see Patty Hostetler here for this. We've worked hard to get here. This has been a long but a very rewarding journey. So, Cheryl.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. That's a really hard act to follow. I mean, that just gets you kind of choked up when you see young people that are able to do the kind of things that she did and get recognized for it. So it makes me really proud to be part of Douglas County. So the item before you this afternoon, the first one is the conservation easement on the Schmidt property. As you are aware, the Chatfield Reservoir Mitigation Company who had to come forward to find mitigation areas where it could make up for the habitat from the expansion of the reservoir. This was the first property that they brought forward. Initially, they talked to them about doing a conservation easement on their property, And they said, yeah, we're not really interested in that, but we might be willing to donate the property to Douglas County to be protected in perpetuity in exchange for a tax benefit. The property was appraised at $8.1 million. So that's huge. I mean, that was a contribution to the county for free. So we have gone through the process in the last 3 years of getting all of the approvals from Army Corps of Engineers and DNR, Department of Natural Resources. So we are now ready to convey the easement to Douglas Land Conservancy. We have reserved the right, and I think CJ has a map, and I've got some pictures too that I think you might enjoy. So this is the map of the Schmidt property, and it shows kind of the area that is being protected by CRMC, where the building envelopes are, and we have reserved the right to have trails on the property sometime in the future. There's really no rush to do that because we have a hard time keeping up with the over 100 miles of trail we already have on other properties. But this one's very special. There's hardly any part of it that isn't steep. There's a road going into it, and you can see those little blobs there. Those are where some old buildings are that will probably be removed. But we do have the right to eventually put trails and a trailhead on the property. So CJ, if you want to go to the next picture. This is a bear that was on the property. And I cannot believe how many bears there are on this particular property. When we were out there for a site tour, literally every 50 feet there would be scat from a bear. And so we wore bear bells and we made lots of noise when we were there just to make sure that the bears knew we were there and stay away from us. But that was pretty amazing to actually see the black bear. So you can go to the next picture. This is from the very top, because you have to go all the way around and come in through Elephant Rock to get to the top of this property and drive through the Curtis's private property to get to it. So it's pretty amazing when you get up on top. I mean, it's like you can look out and see the whole rest of the county. So that gives you an idea of the scope of that property. So go to the next one. And this is just kind of showing you some of the forest area that is up on top. So it's an amazing, amazing property. And hopefully someday we will have trails on it and have access. But in the meantime, we're just going to leave it to the bears. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Cheryl, this is just a remarkable accomplishment, and I want to thank you and Patty and acknowledge my colleague for her hard work with the Army Corps as well. We know that this is just a phenomenal benefit to the citizens of Douglas County, so thank you.
Yeah, I think about Madam Chair, you and I being on the Chatfield watershed when all that work was being done to figure out how to mitigate, the loss of the wildlife area due to the rising water levels in Chatfield, and how this deal was worked out. And so to see it finally coming to fruition is really kind of neat for me. So great job. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for bringing this to us today.
This is just truly amazing. You and your staff, we worked on that project together to see how you all worked so quickly, and especially when you got 2 years worth of work done in a month. Truly amazing. And let me two things. Maybe someday we could schedule a trip there, because every time we have tried to go up there to look at it, we've had snow and it's had to be canceled. So I would still like to go up there and take a look at that. And I'd like to ask Mr. Ingalls, is it okay for Cheryl to then talk about sandstone and then have Patty come up and then make two motions, but we do it all in together?
Yes, Madam Chair, there's no reason these items can't be presented together as long as the vote is separate.
Thank you. So I'm okay if you want to go ahead with your sandstone presentation, please.
Okay, well, as you know, on Sandstone Ranch that we purchased in January of 2018, I contacted CRMC to see if they had enough mitigation credits to get to the end of this 30-year project. And this was the last thing that was required in order to start filling the reservoir. And they came out, they actually looked at maps and everything and came out and looked at the property, and they said, oh, absolutely, we definitely want to do this. So as a result of that, you all went back to Washington, D.C. and had to deal directly with Army Corps of Engineers and everybody else to try to get this deal done. And in the meantime, we also applied for a Great Outdoors Colorado grant, which they normally will not award grants for properties if the entity applying for them has the ability to close on the property without GOCO funds. So as it turned out, in this case, we had already closed on the property, and GOCO came out, actually went out on the bridge and everything, and they were so impressed with the property, they decided to award us a $3.5 million grant, even though we had already closed on the property. So with the GOCO grant and then the $6 million that we were able to get from CRMC to protect the properties, and you can see it kind of shows the building envelopes and everything on the property and the areas that are the habitat. We've just gone through the annual monitoring reports the first year, which turned out to be really good. So we are now ready to grant the conservation easement to the Douglas Land Conservancy for the balance of the property. And we worked on this quite a while too, because we wanted to retain building envelopes where, you know, we have all of the ranch structures and everything. So the white blobs that you see are the building envelopes. There's the main area where the ranch headquarters are, the gravel pit, the Club Doug, as we're now calling it, and the other building envelopes there that we will be allowed to do certain things in. So we've worked through it. GOCO is in the process of looking at all the due diligence documents and the conservation easement. They know that we're approving it today. So we'll be setting up a closing in order to finish everything and have it all recorded. So, and Patty is here. I'm sure she would like to say a few words. So Patty, if you'd like to come up.
Does anyone have questions or comments about Sandstone to Cheryl?
I don't at this time, thank you.
No questions at this time.
Okay. Patty.
Good afternoon. I'm Patty Hostetler, Executive Director of Douglas Land Conservancy, and I'm honored to be here today. Years and years ago, there was a vision for open space developed by Douglas County. Fast forward to today, and look where we've come. This is just a fabulous project, as well as the Schmidt project, and we're honored to be a partner in this project, to hold the conservation easement on this and many other open space properties that provide great public benefit to all of our community and beyond that. So thank you to the commissioners, thank you to Cheryl, and thank you for this opportunity and our continued partnership. We're always pleased to, you know, continue that partnership and do whatever we can to support the county and your efforts in the acquisition of these great open spaces that provide so many different benefits, including public access, which is so well received by our community and so important for our community. So thank you for your support. That bear picture at the Schmidt property, I took that. And fortunately, we were in a car and we were about 300 yards away because that was one of the biggest bears that I've ever seen in person. And we had the rangers there, but you know, we felt a little bit safer being in the car down on that bottom part. So I do suggest if you go for a site visit, go up high where you can see down low and to see what's in front of you, but enjoy that property, and we look forward to seeing what public open space opportunities that property will have down the road. So again, thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to many, many more years of working together to protect these beautiful open spaces so everybody can enjoy them.
Thank you, Patty. Would you mind spelling your last name and giving us your address, please?
Yes, it's Hostetler, Hostetler. Our address is 210 Front Street, Castle Rock, Colorado. Thank you again.
Thank you. Comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions, and then just some really grateful comments. I mean, Patty and Cheryl, this is a fun day today because we really get to acknowledge two giants in open space that our citizens will get to benefit from for an indefinite amount of time. And, you know, when you think about the meaning and the popularity of open space to our citizens, you know, our communications staff tracks what's happening out there in the community pretty closely. And if you look at our social media engagement, Sandstone Ranch kind of is this huge mountaintop where people just absolutely love it. And if it's any indication, in my office, JA Ranch is a mural right behind my chair that I get to look at every single day. So thank you. It's deeply meaningful.
Again, I'm the new guy sitting here with all this great work that's occurred, and it's all kind of finally coming to fruition. Thanks so much, Patty. Hey, I'm still working for you, right? If not on the town council up here now, but thanks so much for all you guys do to bring these great amenities, this great work of conservation to the people of Douglas County.
So Patty, you do a lot of work as you manage these properties. So would you like to just give us a snapshot of all the things you have to do now that we are deeding it to putting the easement on it?
Sure. As many people don't know is Douglas Land Conservancy doesn't own any of these properties. The county owns them, obviously. We also work with private landowners who retain ownership of their properties, but they preserve their properties with a conservation easement through us. That's a deed that runs with the land, and there are certain restrictions to the property and certain benefits to the property in that deed of conservation easement. So once the conservation easement is put in place on any of these properties, it's Douglas Land Conservancy's job to ensure that the terms of the conservation easement are being upheld by the landowner and by the land trust in perpetuity. And so it being a nonprofit organization, that's quite a big task to be around forever. And so ensuring that these properties are protected forever and provide that public benefit that they were intended to provide is very important to us. I've worked with Cheryl for the last 20 years on doing some of these great projects that provide these benefits, and we continue to provide reassurances to you, the commissioners, as well as the community as to our being here forever to continue that mission that we have and that requirement that we have to make sure that these easements remain intact and protect these wonderful jewels that we have.
So Patty, when I first met you and I asked you what exactly you did, I was just blown away when you told me how you visit these properties personally and you take photos and you do that over and over because you really are the guardian for these properties for everybody. And that's why I asked you to explain it on the record, because it's not like you just sit in your office all day long and look at magazines to see what kind of property you want to pester us to buy next, right? You really are working hard to make sure these properties are taken care of and they are preserved. So I want to thank you and everybody on your staff and your nonprofit who do so much in partnership with us, like you said, to maintain these properties for our citizens. So thank you, Patty.
Thank you. It's so exciting to execute a conservation easement and tell everybody that the property is protected. But again, the toughest job that we have is after that happens. And so a lot of times that's forgotten, but we're still here to make sure that that does take place and we continue forward. So thank you again.
Thank you, Patty.
And you may not be aware that a lot of the volunteers that work with DLC are also our volunteers. They lead a lot of hikes, they do birding, they do all kinds of things for us. So we share all of our volunteers doing a lot of these activities. So it's really a wonderful relationship, no question about it. And I forgot to ask CJ to show you some of the pictures of sandstone because some people haven't seen it. So CJ, if you want to whip through those so that they can see some of those great pictures.
Cheryl, this is Troy, your virtual host. CJ had to go open the hearing.
Okay, sorry. I mean, you guys have been out there, so at least you know the hoodoos and the view from the overlook and some of that. It's just so inspiring to be out there. It's like a miniature garden of the gods, so it's a very special place. We'll do some more tours there, too.
Come back and show us again next time.
You bet.
Bring that display back.
I'm told we have a picture of Sasquatch or Bigfoot or something.
We do. We even have our very own Sasquatch on staff.
I got the indication of that the other day, didn't I?
Thank you, Cheryl. I'd like to open this up for public comment. Are there any people in the room who would like to address the commissioners on these items? Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online who would like to address the commissioners on this topic?
I have no outside attendees.
Thank you, Troy. I'm going to close public comment and bring it back to the board. First for B, for any discussion or a motion.
Madam Chair, if it pleases the board, I'd like to place a motion to approve the conservation easement on the Schmidt property to Douglas County Land Conservancy.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the conservation easement on Sandstone Ranch to Douglas Land Conservancy.
Second.
There's a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Again, congratulations to all of you for all your hard work to get us here.
Thank you.
The county manager's report was attached Do any commissioners have any comments?
Only a brief one, Madam Chair. February is always a special month in my family, and it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. I've definitely felt the love in this room, and it's an honor to serve with both of you and be able to recognize such wonderful accomplishments in our community.
No comments on the county manager's report.
And I have no comments either today. So this concludes today's business meeting. It is now 2:17 in the afternoon. Thank you.